Good morning and welcome to Wednesday's edition of The Platform, the pinnacle of all discussions here on Flow 94.9 FM. I am Chioma Nkwanta. Happy New Month to you. This morning, the billing question on the front burner is where the jobs are. Yes, we mean the jobs that the federal government promised Nigerians even after Empower recorded over 1 million applications in barely 48 hours. Well, let's take you straight to the rowdy and revealing session between Festus Keyamo, the Minister of State for Labor, and the members of the National Assembly yesterday. Maybe you'll have an idea of who is holding the jobs that you're supposed to get.
At Flow 94.9 FM, we've got conducive and well-secured environment for business. High-tech video studio, a state-of-the-art production studio. You can also listen live on www.flow949fm.com and watch our videos on YouTube at Flow FM TV. Flow 94.9 FM, not just radio, but a complete broadcasting house.
Meanwhile, barely 48 hours after opening the recruitment platform for Empower Batch C beneficiaries, the Nigerian government said it has received over 1 million applications. Spokesperson of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Rhoda Ilia, made the disclosure in a statement. Ilia said while only 400,000 people will be recruited, about 24 hours after opening the recruitment portals, there were claims by some applicants that the platform was hacked. Dispelling the claims, Ilia said that the Empower portal is secured and no data has been compromised. The portal is open for all Nigerians who meet the application criteria. On the platform this morning, we are looking at the unemployment rate in Nigeria and the federal government's post-countdown financial intervention for businesses and citizens. Once again, good morning and welcome.
At Flow 94.9 FM, we've got conducive and well-secured environment for business. High-tech video studio, a state-of-the-art production studio. You can also listen live on www.flow949fm.com and watch our videos on YouTube at Flow FM TV. Flow 94.9 FM, not just radio, but a complete broadcasting house.
Joining me on the platform this morning is a civil society activist and convener and lead technical director, Citizens Voice for Accountability and Progress, Mr. Lawrence Obewe. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Chairman. Good morning, listeners.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
It's my pleasure.
Lawrence, I hope you followed the rowdy session between Festus Keyamo and the Senate.
Yeah, it is difficult to ignore it. I think it has become customary and traditional in Nigeria. It's unfortunate, but that's the Nigeria we have. So
what do you make of the whole thing?
Well, I think that it's a power tussle between the executive and the legislature. And at the end of the day, I think it's also trying to shortchange Nigerians. Because when you hear the members of the Senate and the House of Representatives in that committee talking about the list not first coming to them for them to make input before going public, what that translates to is why has government not allocated slots to them? Then you begin to ask, what about the people who don't know any of those members? Festus, on the other hand, was standing his ground. He knows the Constitution very well, and he knows that their oversight function does not include interfering in the matters of the executive, but just watching out to be sure that everything has credibility and is accountable. So he is standing his ground. But at the end of the day, he's just trying to shortchange Nigerians. You can ask questions from both ends, and the members of the House, National Assembly will be wrong to be asking that the list should have first be forwarded to them to make input. And Festus Keyamo might not 100% be innocent, because there are a lot of people in that committee that you can also question. Somebody like the MC Olomo of Lagos, that the whole Nigerians know to be a tout. Somebody who has been used to win a lot election is a member of that committee. The daughter of the leader of the APC, Tinubu, is also the chairman of that committee. So Festus is not innocent as he portrays himself to be. But I think it's powerless just to deny Nigerians' rights.
Okay. According to Festus Keyamo, he said that the lawmakers were not satisfied with what they were given. What do you make of this?
Of course, the Oliver Twist is always asking for more. What they want is actually to share the slots. And I think we must put things into perspective. This particular program, this special public works program, is for the unskilled. Is government trying to intervene for people who will not be able to find white-collar jobs, people who don't have any specialized training that can allow them to get work. So government is trying to employ 1,000 from every local government. And as you know, there are 774 local governments in Nigeria. So that will amount to about 774,000 employment created out of that. But the bigger picture is the fact that as at January, before the COVID pandemic, Nigeria came out with about 33.5% unemployment rate. In figures, that translates to about 67 million people who are not employed. 67 million out of 198 or 200 million thereabout. So there is no army in the world that has that population. So if you have 67.9 million unemployed people, it means that there is no kind of security gadgets or personnel that you can deploy to stop crime. So that's the unfortunate thing. So this special public works program is one of many. Don't also forget that the government is still going ahead with the trader money, the market money for petty traders in the market. The government has also come out with what they have termed the COVID loan. The COVID loan that is in three perspectives. You have the household support for families who have suffered economic consequences as a result of the COVID-19. That's the first one. Then there's the micro enterprise for businesses who have track record of doing businesses. Then you have the third one, that is the SMEs for people who are intending to go into business but have bankable business plan, something you can take to the bank and say, okay, can you finance this? So there are a lot of intervention programs that the government, so it just concentrating on the special public works program would not be fair enough. But I think that the attention on it is because of the fracas in the National Assembly yesterday, which is actually is unfortunate.
All right. So from all the allegations, could there be any truth in any of this?
Yeah, I don't think that there's in Igbo land. So I don't think that there is really any doubt that there are things, and that's why I said the lawmakers overjumped their bounds. Festus Keyamo might not also be completely innocent. That's why I made that statement. On the lawmakers believe that it should still remain business as usual, where the ordinary Nigerians with no connection cannot get anything in the country. Because at the end of the day, what they are trying to do is to give them to go and give the talks that help them win election, not the ordinary people who suffer, who don't want to go into crime, and who don't have any way to have access to government. That's what they are trying, just to go and empower their thoughts to be ready for the next election, which I think is unfortunate. Then on the part of Festus Keyamo, he is trying to win public sympathy because if you look at all the social media throughout yesterday, it was buzzing everywhere. He was trending on Twitter and all that because everybody is now looking at him as a saint. But if you look at the composition of some of those committees, I'm not sure there are things to be very, very happy about. But again, as I always say, this is Nigeria.
Okay. Lawrence, the Empower scheme received a million application in 48 hours.
Yeah.
Are you surprised?
No, I'm not. I started by painting the unemployment picture in Nigeria.
You did.
When you have about 33.5% of our population unemployed, these are not the ones who are not able to who are not ready to work. These are people who are able-bodied and are ready to work. So if you put into figure in our population, you have about 67.9 million. So if we are having 1 million in 48 hours, I think that's minimal. I was expecting it to hit 4, 5, 6 million in 24 hours because you have a system where people have been deprived for a long time. Then if you match that with the current pandemic that is ravaging the world, for over 3 months, almost nothing has happened. A lot of people have lost their livelihood. The question for me is not what government is doing, it's actually what government is not doing. Because if you look at the businesses that have been shut down, the ones that are even open, a lot of people within these 3 months that they were shut down have consumed their capital. So there is even no capital to restart your business again, which is why I am commending them in this COVID loan, because that can help kickstart. But again, you are also talking about an economy where people don't keep records, because nobody is going to give you some of this money if you don't keep records. So the 1 million is huge by any measure. But I think if you take into account the number of unemployment people and the situation where we are in right now, which is the post-COVID era, I think I was expecting a lot more.
Okay, so looking at all the schemes, Empower, Trader Money, and all the rest of them, how far-reaching are these programs in tackling poverty?
Again, that's the German question. Not even asking me. That's the question I also want to ask government. My problem is not about our ability to think out strategy or our ability to share money, but is framework for accountability. There is no way you can achieve any meaningful thing with anything without a framework to be accountable. Don't be surprised. Don't be deceived about some of the rhetorics in the media. If you look at the Minister for Human Social Development and Human Resources, she was talking about not being able to provide the beneficiaries of the palliative that government shared. And when she was asked on public television, national television, what her reason was, she said those people don't want to be identified. And I think that's the height of absurdity. Because you cannot share public money and not be able to account who received it. If I have applied to get money from the public, I have lost my right of privacy. So because it's public money, it has to be accounted to the public. Every money that is being expended belongs to the Nigerian government, the Nigerian people. It doesn't belong to Buhari. It doesn't belong to the minister. It doesn't belong to any state government. It belongs to the Nigerian people. So if you are not able to account it to them, for me, it amounts to fraud. Okay. So my problem is not being able to think out these strategies, is what are the accountability mechanisms that are in place for us to be able to say, okay, look at what happened at the National Assembly yesterday. So government is looking for how to alleviate poverty. Government is looking at how to uplift the living standard of the people. But the members are fighting over how many slots came to them and why it didn't come to them and all that. So that's where I think that's the biggest disconnect. So I don't know the framework they are going to use to share some of those things. I don't know what they are going to do on the long run. But I want to see where the people who really need it are the ones who are getting it. Because some of these things at the end of the day, it ends up being around the pockets of people who are connected to government, people who have access and who are really not lacking. I have seen a lot of programs, I've monitored a lot of programs in Nigeria, interventionist programs that end up going to the people. The palliative that are shared, I can give you instances in the state where I am. I see people that I know carrying it in their personal vehicle. One day I saw one dropping it off where they are selling provisions. That's to sell something that's supposed to go to people. So that's the major problem I have. As long as there is no framework for accountability, it becomes very, very difficult. Yeah. That's the thinking is good. I commend government, because if you look at what they have done, and don't forget that this thing that you're looking at is not a one-off thing. Yeah. It's contained in the government economic stimulus plan for COVID-19, the one that the Vice President Yomi Osinbajo released the other day. So this is part of it. So it's really commendable, but I don't see framework for accountability right now.
Okay. You made mention of some people taking it elsewhere, some of these things that have been put in place for the citizens. And it appears like some of the intervention programs just end up enriching few Nigerians within the corridors of power. Is there no realistic way to actually reach out to end poverty, to reach out to the poor?
No, the major problem is that I don't think even the poor is helping matters. I don't think even the poor people are helping matters. There is no state that can govern its citizens without data. You must have data. So Nigeria as of today doesn't have the data. There is no statistic. Look at what happened in the US. They knew exactly who needed the support they were providing. And after providing the initial one, they saw that it was not enough. They went for a second one because there was data. You have a country where, in US, for instance, if you are unemployed, you file for unemployment. So there is a data that this person is unemployed. Any day you get work, you go back and refile for employment. So your name is taken out from the unemployment data. But in Nigeria, you don't have it. So it's now second guessing. Can you go and look for the poor people around your place? And we are all human. If you put anything in the hands of human, there will be abuse. Except you put in a system where the system, that's why if you see this, the courts, you see the judge, the eyes are tied. Because once you make people begin to look at who should I give, who should I not give, you get messed in the whole thing. So the citizens must look for a way to be captured in government data. Today you talk about taxes. If you're working, there are legitimate taxes you need to pay to government. As long as you're paying that taxes, you have a record with government. No matter, so I can give you an example. Kaduna State shared the first palliative that was very messy. People complained about it. People packed it and went to the market. In the second one, they went to the major mobile networks in Nigeria, Glo, Airtel, Etisalat, and MTN, and said, over the past 2 months, can you give us data of people who have recharged 100 naira or less? And they were provided with this data. It was merged. If you have 5 numbers because of the BVN and your biometrics, they will merge it as one. So once they merged, they were able to sieve out that. So they took the addresses and took those palliative to those homes.
Yeah.
And that's what you expect in a country, that the country will have adequate data to know who is who. In Nigeria today, you see people enter from Niger Republic, go to the National ID Card Office and make ID card of Nigeria, Federal Republic of Nigeria. You see people from Chad, you see people from Mali, you see people from everywhere having our national ID card because there is no data to show who is Nigeria and who is not Nigeria. It's a system where everybody goes. So as long as we continue to follow that kind of system, it will be difficult to really get an intervention that can speak directly to the beneficiaries.
Yeah.
You end up just politicians sharing everything.
From all indications, it looks like Nigeria is still struggling with her database.
It's not struggling. They've not even woken up to database. It's not just struggling. They've not woken up. We've not realized the importance of data. If you see why developed countries, the reason why they are developing at the pace they are developing is because of data. For instance, if you're going to make intervention in education, you need to really know, not going to build schools, you really need to know whether building school is part of the problem or quality of teachers, or sitting as rearrangement in classroom. So without data, you can't do anything.
All right, Lawrence, thank you so much. I would have loved to ask you to provide a solution in one sentence.
We need to go back to, unfortunately, all the Bureau of Statistics, Ministry of Statistics in Nigeria, no one is working. We need to revive them to have adequate data to allow us to plan. That would be my suggestion.
All right.
Forward.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much, always.
Yeah. Okay, we just got off the phone with a civil society activist and convener, the lead technical director, Citizens Voice for Accountability and Progress, Mr. Lawrence Obewe. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And right now, we have the chairman of Isu Microfinance Multipurpose Cooperative Society Limited, Isaac Nkole. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, my dear. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for joining us this morning.
How's everything?
Fine, it's going well.
Hello?
It is going well. Hello, I can hear you.
Okay, good morning, my dear.
Yes, good morning to you.
How are you people there?
We are very well, thank you. What do you make of the Empower program?
Oh, my dear, the federal government are doing all their best to make sure that the Empower moves successfully to the less Nigerians. So the registration is ongoing, and everybody is lying also together.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go on.
Yes, everybody is applying, both graduate and non-graduate. And by the grace of God, from now to August, I think we will conclude. They will conclude about it.
Okay, so how true is the allegation of political hijacking of the process, the whole Empower process?
It's not true. It's not true. You know, in everything in Nigeria, they will just politicize everything, just politicize it to make sure they discredit the Mr. President. Yeah, but the fact is that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is reaching to the less privileged and to the people in the grassroots. So it's not true, because they are not sabotaging anything. They are not sabotaging.
So do you feel that this particular program will get to the very unemployed?
Of course. From the inception of the program, let me begin, since 2016, the program has changed a lot of Nigerians. It has changed a lot of Nigerians.
Okay.
By that of January 2016, the program started. It started when it started, like the president says he will be paying them 23,000 naira a month. So many graduates became upset. They say, what kind of job is this, that? But before you know, Mr. President now changes, said that he will be paying them 30,000 naira. The program now enter in next level. And by the special grace of God, they can be able to accommodate 200,000 non-graduates and graduates. That's 2016. Are you with me?
Yes.
So if Mr. President can do that, and before then, 2017, he now engage another 300,000 graduates, which made 500,000 graduates in the system in the M4 program. You see, since then, you check out all the household of 500,000 persons across the country. You see, it's a very nice. It's a very nice step from the president.
Okay.
So
all right.
He's doing very, very marvelous.
Engineer Isaac,
to eliminate unemployment.
I would need you to take us through the requirements and process for the benefit of our listeners.
Hello?
I said that I would need you to take us through the requirements and process of this whole NPOP scheme for the benefit of our listeners.
Well, the benefit.
Yeah. The process and requirements. The process and requirements.
Okay, the process is, once you are from age of 18 years to 35 years, you are eligible to apply. And the requirements are include your one passport photograph, your BVN number, your account details, and your school certificate.
Okay.
Yes, these are requirements.
Please.
One passport photograph.
Okay.
Your BVN, your school certificate, and your account details.
Okay.
That's all. And your email. Your email is very, very important in this program. You must have your own personal email. You don't use another person's email, or maybe another person have applied with your email or an email. You go and use it. If you use it, they will disqualify you.
Okay, so how transparent, talking of disqualification and eligibility, how transparent is the selection process?
In as much as you apply and all your details is correct, they will send you a mail that you use. If you open the mail, you take what we call an instant aptitude test.
Okay.
Are you with me? Then when you take the aptitude test, once you pass, select you. There is nothing like man no man in this. So Mr. President is very, very strict, and he is very, very plain in this program.
All
it's
right.
not man no man business or work.
Okay. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the program.
Thank you, my sister. God bless you.
Thank you. This is the platform, a pinnacle of all discussions. We just got off the phone with Engineer Isaac Nkole, Chairman of Isu Microfinance Multipurpose Cooperative Society Limited.
At Flow 94.9 FM, we've got conducive and well-secured environment for business. High-tech video studio, a state-of-the-art production studio. You can also listen live on www.flow949fm.com and watch our videos on YouTube at Flow FM TV. Flow 94.9 FM, not just radio, but a complete broadcasting house.
Joining us this morning right now is Chinenye Nwogu, Special Advisor to the Governor on Social Investment. Good morning and thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
How are the people responding to the whole Empower registration and the scheme?
Well, we are very excited. Ambiance, the youth are responding very well. The registration centers we set up in all the 17 local governments, since the registration started, they've been very busy. A lot of people are coming to avail themselves of the opportunities this program offers. And our registration officers are up and doing.
Okay.
We're also very excited that we're receiving calls from leaders in the state, political leaders, religious leaders, traditional leaders, and all major leaders in the state asking questions, knowing what is going on. Sometimes when there are complaints from any of the local governments, we receive calls from even very unexpected quarters. Shows that everyone is excited, everyone is concerned, everyone is involved.
Okay. All right. What about people who registered in the previous Empower program and were not selected? Can they register again?
Yes, they can.
Okay, they can.
They can register again.
All right. So how would the scheme screen out those who previously benefited from the scheme and are planning to register again?
Well, all those who have benefited from the scheme before now, we already have their BVN and their personal details.
Okay.
Once that BVN pumps up on the registration platform, we will just weed it out. It's something that is automatic. The platform we are using is a very robust technology that picks out those whose BVM have been on any of our payment platform, whether it's Empower, the school feeding, the cash transfer program, or even those who are receiving any kind of remuneration from the federal government, the state government, or local government. Once the BVM pumps up, it's flagged up, and we've asked people, especially those who are working, to desist from this program. Is not for them. This program is for unemployed graduates and non-graduates who hitherto have no means of livelihood.
Okay.
These are the set of people this program is meant to cater for.
All right. And the age bracket is from
18 years to 35 years.
All right. Thank you so very much for talking to us this morning on the platform.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Have a nice day.
And you too.
This is the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions. The first edition for the month of July. We're looking at the unemployment rate in Nigeria and the federal government's post-countdown financial intervention for businesses and citizens. And so you've heard from Engineer Isaac Nkole, you heard from Lawrence Obewe, and you also heard from Chinenye Nwogu. What's your take on all of this that we have discussed this morning? We want to feel your pulse right now. The numbers to call us on 0808 1826 949 or 0811 6056 949. Of course, you can send SMSs to 0906 510 8289. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Choma.
Good morning to you.
It's Alvan. I'm calling you from Bend.
Alvan, you're welcome. What's your contribution this morning?
Yeah, we're looking at the unemployment rate in Nigeria. Is that what you're talking about?
We're looking at Empower. We're looking at...
the subject.
Yes, yes, we are. Unemployment rate in Nigeria and the
investment program have to reduce it.
Exactly.
Yeah, the question is, do they even have mechanism to evaluate these programs they are running? Because the essence of running this social investment program is to reduce poverty, to reduce unemployment, and a whole lot of things. Now, if we take a critical look at the program since it started and now, how have it helped to reduce all those things, the poverty? It have not, And if you cannot, just like the question you asked Mr. Obere, and he said he's thinking in the same direction. I raised this question this morning in another platform. You can't be running a social investment program and you cannot look at the impact of the program on the life of the people, and the impact of the program in terms of reducing poverty, in terms of reducing unemployment. Remember that some of these programs...
Please, can you wrap up
like
your thoughts?
After 24 months, it will be the people that benefited will go. And even the ones that are going to recruit 700 and something thousand youth after 2 months, you pay them 20,000. Is that the best way to reduce poverty? Let them take a look at the power sector of this country. We should be talking about how we can help our people to create jobs.
Thank you.
They can be self-sustaining, not giving somebody fish. So they should take a look on this investment program and how they will do something that will benefit people, because it's almost the politicians that are benefiting from this.
All right, thank you very, very much. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you. What's your name?
My name is Mr. Madu.
Mr. Madu. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Okay, Editor-in-Chief / Iron Pillar. This morning I call from the group of Aliki Knanzobo.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Chairman Kwanta. Happy New Month.
Same to you.
Yeah, thank you. Come to the issue on ground we are discussing this morning. I had a conversation and intervention and the screaming in the National Assembly between Festus Keyamo and the Committee on Employment. I want to let you know there that this thing that they are dragging is what they're supposed to do. About 7,000 Nigerians who are unemployed, that they want to give a partial 3 months quarter of end of the year 20,000. I want to tell you, it shall not going to work. It shall not going to work in the sense that if I thought it's work that shall going to work, the ministry have an agency in all states in Nigeria and also have representatives. Then Mr. President and the committee has already lodged out that this is the only thing that we can do after they promised us to 2015. And now they have come again now with another litigation that will bring confusion, that will still remain, that will still keep that confusion.
Please wrap up your thoughts.
That the benefits are not going to be benefited. Nigerians are struggling to survive. If this government has something to offer, let them go straight to the point. Go to the agencies that are involved.
All right.
Get them down, as they said, to the local government, so that the local government can bring their people according to the directives and do things, not to go to
Thank you.
Who will hijack it today. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Choma.
Yeah, good morning to you.
Who's another? I'm calling from my Happy New Month. Sister.
Same to you. Thank you for joining us.
With what's happened, the unemployment rate in Nigeria, I believe that the government of the day is not doing enough to solve it. Because you can't tell me that we should invest, we should be happy that they are going to give some youth 20,000 naira for 3 months. Then what will you profit a youth after receiving 60,000 naira? Then you go back to square one, where you what you've been doing before now. So it is not a welcome development. They should have a profound solution, or look and bring out means that if there's going to be an employment, direct employment that will serve for years, they should do it, or enable something that will investment or development or even agriculture. Give them loan to establish 1 or 2 things instead of telling us that they're going to give 20,000 naira for 3 months. Then the issue of Empower, the same thing. Now we've been told yesterday that the issue of Empower will end 24 months, which is 2 months.
Yeah.
And after 2 months, the person will go back to
2 years. 2 years. 24
so
months is 2 years.
Of course, they should look into what or plans that will make youths or unemployed people in this country to get a permanent job that you do after maybe you might have been employed, then you can use it to raise others.
Thank you.
I was afraid when one time told us that by 2021 that we will get about 7 million Nigerians will go into extra poverty. So it's not a welcome development. So the government of the day should stand on their feet to make sure that they put down things that will make.
All right. Thank you very much. Good morning. Okay. 0808-1826-949 or 0811-6052-949. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Happy New Month.
Same to you. Thank you.
It's Chief Sebastian Ekechukwu from Ibeja in Ituboma, Imo State.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Yeah, so what I want to take on the issue of Empower.
Okay.
I think I commend the effort of the federal government to set such a program. At least 24 months is something for an unemployed person. So, but what I'm advocating is that they should permanent the ones of the first batch. Now we are running into the third batch. They should permanent them so that it will be a relief to them before they start this one.
All right.
I'm just appealing to the federal government.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Charles, I'm calling from Omaya here.
All right, Charles. What's your contribution?
Yes, my contribution is that I want to thank the federal government immensely on what they are doing,
Okay.
which former political parties and government never did. Today, people are talking of employment. I know what the federal government has done in the field of agriculture. Today, we have something like the anchor borrowers and many other things that are giving employment to our youth. Today, Nigeria is not importing rice like past administration did. The gas project that was logged off a couple of days ago, it has said we give millions of jobs to Nigerian youth. So we have long-term and short-term programs. All these Empower and all these things are short-term programs of the federal government, which are very good to check, our youth involving themselves in crime. And I know that some useful youth, I know some of my relations who, participated in the last Empower. Some of them have established little things from what they garnered in a few months. They were, getting
employed.
Something from the federal government. So it's a good thing they are doing. And the quarrel between the Kayama and those of them in the district. You see that the issue, instead of going to politicians, they have.
Please wrap up your thoughts.
For the very first time, they are involving traditional rulers, and we know that traditional rulers are very close to the.
Thank you.
So it's a good project they are doing. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Well, that's the much we can take on the platform this morning, the pinnacle of all discussions. We have looked at unemployment rate in Nigeria and federal government's post-countdown financial intervention for businesses and citizens. A very big thank you to Lawrence Obewe for joining us this morning, a civil society activist and convener, lead technical director, Citizens for Accountability and Progress. Also, Isaac Nkole, the chairman of Isu Microfinance Multipurpose Cooperative Society Limited, and of course, Chineye Wogu, special advisor to the governor on social investment. Thank you so very, very much. And the platform will return on Friday. I am Chioma Nkwanta. Special thanks to Samson Eze, the producer.